Hi, my name is Tom McMurrain. I'd like to welcome you to step number 2 of our 3-step system to talk to you about OneCoin. Well, this is the presentation step. This is where you got to sit back and watch a full presentation and understand all of the details. Number 1, so you can speak intelligently about it. But number 2, when you really, it'll help you understand how massive this opportunity is. I'm going to walk you through the 5 compelling reasons why you ought to take a serious look at OneCoin. We'll talk about the marketplace, the 6 disruptions, the 7th disruption, which of course is the evolution of digital currency, the OneCoin story, and then we're going to get into generating income, and ultimately we're going to talk about the system. And I've got 2 bonus trainings as well, the team building principles and the miracle of success, which I think you'll really enjoy. But we are talking about creating a new economy and a culture of freedom through digital currency education, because first and foremost, we are an education company. We're teaching people how to profit from digital currency. That is our core business. And ultimately, you can become a miner with our company. You may not know what that means, but I'll explain it in the presentation. And you can become a trader, where you can actually trade cryptocurrencies, not just OneCoin, but you have the opportunity to trade any cryptocurrency that you want. So with that said, let me get into step number 2 of the presentation, and let's talk about joining the evolution. And really, what are we talking about? Well, you know, in 1991, when the internet really popped out and started getting media attention, really what happened with the internet is it evolutionized the printing and press industry, the publishing industry, if you will. And I tell everybody that, and that was a major disruption for the publishing industry. I mean, look how many printing presses are out of business now because of blog press and WordPress and Blogspot and Twitter and just all of the publishing mechanisms that are out there. And that's what we call a disruption. And we're going to be talking about that in this presentation. But joining the evolution, the difference between an evolution and a revolution, evolution is like moving beyond where we are. It's evolving from where we are. And, you know, with the banking and finance industry, the digital currency industry is going to do to the banking and finance industry what the internet did to the publishing industry. You mark my words on that, because there's some major changes going on. In fact, in the news, you'll hear a lot about banks getting involved in digital currency and what's called the blockchain, and you'll understand that. It's just a fancy word for public ledgers, all it is, but we'll get into that into the presentation. But OneCoin is all about education. That is our primary core product that we sell, is education. And when you buy one of our educational packages, we give you the opportunity to learn digital currency mining. And what we mean by that is being able to get the coins at wholesale, and when they hit your e-wallet, they're at retail. And so that's very exciting. So let's go ahead and get into the presentation. I want to assume first that you don't know anything about digital currency or what a cryptocurrency coin is. So I want to start there before I get into the presentation. And let's talk about what a digital coin has in common with a 1965 Mustang. A 1965 Mustang, okay, most popular car ever built, sold more than any car in the world, 559,000 of them produced, even more than the Toyota Camry, okay? But the interesting thing about the 1965 Mustang, Lee Iacocca, unlike the Federal Reserve, only printed so many of them. He only made so many Ford Mustangs. So the number of Ford Mustangs is what we call finite, and finite would be defined as a limited number or a limited resource, meaning no more can be created. The sticker price of the Ford Mustang in 1965 was $2,395. Boy, wouldn't you like to go buy 10 of those right now at that price? The average price today is $25,920. And why is that? Well, the Mustang is finite. There's only so many of them, and there's a huge demand for them. But what was unique on the Ford Mustang was each car had a VIN number, a vehicle identification number, and that VIN number is actually very similar to a digital coin. That VIN number was unique, and it has value. Okay, so I want to help you understand it with that understanding. A digital coin is also finite, meaning when you create a algorithm or a mathematical equation that's going to govern the issuance of a digital currency, it will stipulate that only so many VIN numbers can be created. And I'm using VIN numbers and cryptocurrency numbers in the same sentence. Okay, a digital coin is finite, and it has a unique serial number. And like in the case of OneCoin, there are 2.1 billion unique serial numbers. In the case of Bitcoin, there are 21 million unique serial numbers. Okay, well, obviously, if there's a huge demand for those serial numbers, the price on the coin goes up. If there is a huge supply and no demand, of course, the price can go down. So we understand that about in supply-demand economics. Now, a VIN number, just like a car, if you have a car title and you go to the bank and it has a VIN number up here, the bank loans you money against that VIN number. Why? Because that is the unit of value. It's actually not the car. Even though it's associated with a car, they're going to hold you to this title because this is the document that you hand to the bank that they put the lien on the back. Okay? So a VIN number is very similar to a digital coin. Now, a digital coin is not a coin, by the way. It's not a physical coin. The only way you could make it a coin is if you printed off your serial numbers out of your e-wallet and cut them into a circle, the piece of paper into a circle, and told everybody it was a coin. Okay, so there's no actual physical coin. Now, there is a Swiss bank that will put your coin number on a certificate and encrypt it for you, so you can have those in your safety deposit box. But a crypto coin is a serial number. Okay, and a crypto coin also can be fractionalized into millions. So this actual serial number can be fractionalized into millions. Okay, so you don't have to buy, if a Bitcoin is $250, you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You could buy a millionth of a Bitcoin if you wanted to. Okay, so titles, just like cryptocurrency, have unique VIN numbers for transfer of value or transfer of ownership. Okay, shouldn't have done that. When you look at the e-wallet, your e-wallet for your digital currency holds your digital coin serial numbers, much like a certificate of title would hold your VIN numbers that you would keep in your safety deposit box. So a safety deposit box and an e-wallet is synonymous, whereas a VIN number on a car title and a coin serial number are synonymous as well, which means they're the same thing. And so how are the values of a 1965 Mustang determined? Well, of course, prices of automobiles are determined by public auctions. Prices of coins are determined by public auction as well. And like I said, if there's a huge demand for the coins, if this crowd is huge and there's not that many coins available, then you're going to have a huge demand for, you're going to have a much higher price for the actual coin. Of course, if there's a bunch of these Mustangs sitting in the room and there's no people in the room, those Mustangs aren't going to sell for very much, are they? So prices of digital coins are determined by public auctions. We call them exchanges. Okay, so it's important for you to understand the terminology. In your back office of OneCoin, there is an exchange where people are buying and selling the coin. Okay, and that is what determines the value of the coin. If there's a bunch of people buying it and not enough people selling it, the price will go up. If there's a lot of people selling it and not enough people buying it, the price will go down, much like happens with cars at public auctions. Okay, so that gives you a better understanding of what cryptocurrency is. All it is a unique serial number, and the value of it is determined by public auction. So let me get into the 5 compelling reasons why you want to take a serious look at OneCoin. First off, we have stellar leadership. We have an amazing, very smart woman that's at the helm of this company. She has a tremendous resume. I'll talk about it as I get into the presentation. But I love this quote by Wendell Willkie. He says that education is the mother of leadership. Well, if that's true, this is the mother of digital education leadership, and we're excited to have, her name's Dr. Rusha Ignatova, and she has been featured on the cover of a Forbes magazine, a Brand Voice magazine, and been fully vetted. I mean, this is a woman that is highly credible. The thing I have to say about leadership in our company is we don't have crypto leaders. You know, a lot of companies have leaders where, oh, if I had to tell you who they were, I'd have to kill you, or you have to sign this NDA. I'm joking, obviously, but people are so like cryptographic. They're like, oh, I can't tell you because that's what creates more value around it. We have a secret founder. Our founder is not secret, and she's very public. She's a public business celebrity. Now, here's something cool. Market timing. Groupon reached $1 billion in valuation. Not $1 billion in cash, not $1 billion in sales, but $1 billion valuation in 28 months. OneCoin will hit $1 billion in hard cash revenue in less than 18 months. That's pretty amazing. It'll be the fastest company in the history of the world to do $1 billion in revenue. And that's like me telling you I've got the next Google, by the way. That's like me telling you I've got the next Twitter. Twitter's valued at $30 billion and they have very little revenue. Okay, but let's look at some of the numbers. We're riding the coattails of Bitcoin. Look what Bitcoin did. You know, it just took off. It was the #1 producing investment in the history of the world. It went from 10 cents to $1,203. How would you like to have another run like that as the #1 producing investment in the history of the world? Okay, in a 5-year period. How about these titles? Is the timing right for what we're doing? Greece defaults, Spain's close to defaulting, Puerto Rico's defaulting, Citibank is developing their own Citicoin cryptocurrency. Australia has now deemed Bitcoin a currency, which is kind of cool. That means a first world country now recognizes it as an actual currency. Richard Branson, the billionaire, is holding summits on his Necker Island for Bitcoin. That's kind of cool. Now, how popular is Bitcoin? Well, or OneCoin? Pretty amazing. Look at these numbers. We are already in the top 0.5% of websites in the world. Our global rank by Alexa.com is 11,517. That's phenomenal. Okay, to grow a company from the December of last year or November of last year to the top 0.5% largest websites in the world, bigger than Amway, bigger than Herbalife, bigger than a lot of companies, but we're in the top 0.5% of websites in the world. So that was a tremendous feat right there. Technology, we have a state-of-the-art technology platform. It does not look like this. Convoluted, Bitcoin, super complicated. Ours is very easy. It's PayPal easy. And that's what I like about it. But this is kind of Bitcoin's scatter chart on all of the elements that make up Bitcoin. But how about this? How about this testimonial? Bitcoin is the techno force of technology by Bill Gates. I think this guy knows something about technology. What do you think? But it's the techno force of technology. That's a pretty cool quote. Compensation. And I think this is important. And I tell people you should not be sold on a company because of their comp plan. But if we're doing great things, if we're creating an evolution, if we're changing people's lives, it's also nice to see that people are getting rewarded. Over 310 people in our company are on track to earn $2 million a year in less than 12 months. That's pretty phenomenal. In the month of August, we were paying out an average of $25 million per week in commissions. That's more than most companies are doing a year in sales. Okay, we're paying that out in commissions each week. Just as a disclaimer, the amount of effort you put into a company will determine what you make. There are no implied guarantees. There's no guarantee that you're going to earn this type of income. But if you really apply yourself, folks, the sky's the limit. And there's people already doing it. Can you do it? I don't know, but hopefully you can. The system. One of my mentors said, run the system and let the system run your business. You're watching the system run right now. You're actually participating in it. You're on step 2 of our system, which helps you understand the company better. And this is part of your educational process. I call this a present training. It's more of a training than it is a presentation. But we want you to understand the cryptocurrency industry. We want you to understand digital currency and really make it part of your lifestyle. And I tell everybody, it's like you're at the beginning of where the internet was in 1991. That's where we are with cryptocurrency. So it's an exciting field. There's a lot of education that's going to have to take place. But I got to tell you what, once 500,000, 5 million people know about it, it'll shoot to 50 million people very quickly. It'll be one of the fastest, most adopted technologies in the world next to the internet. The only difference is it's going to be 10 times larger than the internet because the financial system simply is. Okay, and we'll talk about our system in the presentation. So those are the 5 reasons why you should take a serious look at this presentation. If you're looking for a business that has 7- and 8-figure potential, this one has it. Now, if you're looking for something just to make an extra couple $100s a month, this one definitely has it. And very exciting. So let's talk about the different types of people, what I call the marketplace. We have the first movers. These are the risk takers. It's usually a very small percentage, but these are the people that jump in and then ask what and why and how later. So if you're a first mover, we welcome you. We have an exciting opportunity for you. If you're a dream seller and you like standing on stage and educating people and going to your churches and going to your local events and speaking about digital currency and what we're doing with OneCoin, you'll love this business. There's the wealth creator, the person who says, hey, I don't want to recruit anybody. I don't want to build a team. This is a great place for you because you can become a miner and you can just mine your coins. You don't have to recruit anyone to benefit from what OneCoin is doing. Then, of course, you have the prepper. This is kind of like me. I live on a 300-acre farm and have, a lake with fish and cattle and more trees. I could build Noah's Ark if I wanted to. And, we've stockpiled. We have underground diesel tanks. We have everything. But it's pretty cool. We just believe that we should be responsible to our family in case something did happen. Our family won't be on the street starving. So preppers are good in our opinion. We like preppers. Then, of course, there's the end is near person, the doomsdayer. This is the person that's yelling that the economy is going to collapse and everybody should buy gold. You know who they are. You've got a couple friends like that. And then, of course, the everything is a scam person. This is the person that goes immediately to Google and Googles it and says, uh-oh, somebody said it's a scam, it's a scam. Well, the fact of the matter is you can go to Walmart and type in Walmart, scam, and you can type in Procter & Gamble, scam, and you'll find everybody thinks everybody's a scam. And this type of person is what I call an uneducated, ignorant person who they don't understand the dynamics. And if you are this type of person, I will challenge you in this presentation because I'm going to mention some names that are involved in this industry. And if you think they are a scam, you need to do some more research because this is so far from a scam, folks. It's real business. Big banks are getting into it. Billionaires are into it. And if you are running around telling everybody it's a scam, you just don't want people to get ahead, in my opinion. So exciting times, folks. Let's talk about the 6 disruptions and what disruptions are. Disruptions create trillion-dollar business environments that reshape human culture. I think that's important. I mean, we can look at obviously a lot of disruptions that have taken place over the last 100 years, but I'm going to mention some different types of disruptions that have been very obvious. Some of the most obvious disruptions, in the recent years that you've heard about, obviously Redbox, Netflix disrupted Blockbuster. So a country, a company, and an industry, any 3 of those can get disrupted. And I think it's important for you to understand that digital currency is going to disrupt the banking industry, the banking and finance industry in a very big way. And it's already underway, and the banks are kind of ignoring it. They're laughing at it right now. Soon they'll be fighting us, but by the time they try and beat us, we will have already won. And I think it's obvious to say Napster did the same thing to the music industry. If you were familiar with Napster, Napster was a music sharing site where you could download songs for free from everybody's computers. And so if you downloaded a song, it was called a distributed network. And if you downloaded a song, the bytes of the song may come from 20 different people's computers. Well, if they knocked 10 of those computers offline, as long as the other 10 computers were connected to you, you still got the song. You just didn't get it as fast. So the more computers that were downloading it to you, the faster you got it. Well, the Bitcoin industry is a distributed financial network. So even if they were to shut it down in the United States and outlaw it, you can't turn it off, because as long as it's running on one computer around the world somewhere, everything still works, and that's what makes it so cool. But when you talk about disruptions, people say, well, Tom, Napster got beat by the music industry. They lost in court. No, the music industry lost the day they went in the court to win the battle. Okay, they may have won the battle, but they lost the war. And I think it's important for you to understand that, even when you look at Blockbuster, Blockbuster lost the war too. First Netflix came along and really put a dent in their business, and then you see Redbox come along. Redbox is kind of synonymous with ATM machines, if you will, and Blockbuster is kind of synonymous with banks. So as the more of these Bitcoin ATM machines pop up, the need for banks is going to be gone. And so if you're in the banking industry, you need to kind of wake up, because there's a major shift going on and you need to know about it. But let me go ahead and get into the presentation. Let's talk a little bit about some of these disruptions. I could have put hundreds, if not thousands, of logos in here that you would have recognized, but one technology called TV was a major disruptor. And look at just these few multi-billion-dollar organizations it created, but these companies rode the wave of technology, of TV technology and cable technology and satellite technology, and look what they became today. Just think about the amount of money that American Idol alone generates from everything that they do. CNN, just the amount of travel they pay for all of their people around the world. What an amazing organization. Fox, Cheers, Bachelor. Oh my God, what would we do without that, right? Survivor, a show I've never watched that's been on for I think almost a decade now, maybe longer than that. But look at the internet. Do you know that most of these logos you weren't even familiar with before 1995? And look what happened. I mean, Cisco, man, look at their stock chart. Oracle stock chart, Adobe, Netscape, Sun Microsystems, Google stock chart, Microsoft stock chart. Just these few companies. Imagine if you would have put $1,000 into each one of these companies in 1995. Where would you be today? You'd be retired. That's where you'd be. But here's the cool thing about it. I'm going to show you logos that you don't recognize now that one day will be as recognizable as these logos. Okay, and it's the digital coin logos that I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes. But the internet technology, man, talk about disrupting. It's a major disruptor. It disrupted the publishing industry. Email, of course, you guys didn't know any of these logos before 1995, but look at all those companies today and how big they are and how much they are worth. Email disrupted, obviously, the postal industry and the courier industry in a very big way. E-commerce. How many of you said, "Oh, I'll never buy shoes online"? Bam! Here comes Zappos. Overstock.com. How many of you said you'd never use your credit card online? Yet everybody's using Apple Pay and Google Wallet today. People said, "I'll never shop online." Look at Amazon, PayPal, eBay. I mean, what if you'd have put $1,000 in each one of these companies when they first started? Where would you be today? Of course, you'd be retired. Mobile. I don't think I need to say that mobile's a disruptor. It disrupted everybody's driving habits. I know that, especially in Atlanta. But when you look at these logos, how many of these logos were not around? I mean, what if you had had the opportunity to invest $1,000 just in Android or iPhone or Apple? Amazing disruption that's gone on in the mobile space. And then, of course, you recognize a lot of these logos as well. Most of these logos did not exist before 2000. Okay, actually, I don't think any of them did. But when you look at that, how many billions and hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap? I mean, Twitter alone's worth $30 billion. Facebook, I think, is $150 billion. There's over 100 million people on Match.com. The valuations, LinkedIn's like $28 billion. Just in this little group of logos. That doesn't include Instagram. It doesn't include Snapchat. It doesn't include all the other social media networks that exist out there. There's hundreds of them that I could have put in here. But what if you would have invested $1,000 in each one of these? You get where I'm going with it? If you spot the trend before it happens and you put money in the companies before the wave actually hits, you have a chance to really reap a huge windfall of wealth. And that's what we're talking about here. So that leads me to the seventh disruption. And the seventh disruption is digital currency. And really what I wanted to share with you, the next set of logos that you all are probably going to be familiar with are what I call here, these are your future unicorns down here. But the digital currency evolution is about the Kenyan farmer there's 7 billion people in the world. 2 billion people have access to the internet. Only 2 billion people have access to organized financial services. What if we could put another billion people online with organized financial services by using digital currency? Where the Kenyan farmer from his mobile phone with an SMS texting capability can send and receive money via his texting phone, SMS. Isn't that cool? How about being able to not have the situations like we're having in Greece where you walk up and it says, "Sorry, we're unable to temporarily dispense money." Look at what's going on in Greece and what would happen if Bitcoin. Do you know somebody just sent 1,000 Bitcoin ATM machines to Greece? I'll talk about that in a minute, but that's going to be an earth-shaking event in Greece once everybody has access to financial services and they don't need the banks anymore. Guess what? It's game over. How about College Cryptocurrency Network? They're opening up campuses all over the United States and all the college campuses. Stanford actually has a cryptocurrency course. That's right, Stanford, one of the premier universities in the United States, in the world, is teaching cryptocurrency. So if you don't think it's a coming trend, man, you need to pull your head out of the sand because it is coming, and it's coming like a freight train. How about Ecuador? Ecuador just introduced their own digital currency. Russia just said they're introducing their own cryptocurrency. So all of the countries are starting to look at digital currency because they recognize they're already behind the 8 ball and the digital currency field is already taking off like a rocket. So these are some of the companies that you don't recognize right now. but one day these will be household names. These will be companies that will be all over the world, and they will be multi-billion-dollar companies. And now, folks, is the time to learn about them, because this is the next big wealth creation, transformation, disruption that you can be a part of. So we can't tell the story of what we're doing without talking about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin paved the way for us. Started in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto. He published a white paper, and he told everybody in the world that he could create a transaction without the need of a middleman, a consensus-based, irreversible, identity fraudless type transaction without the need of a middleman. And everybody laughed at him. Well, then all of a sudden, a few months later, he published the Bitcoin software, and it was game over. Satoshi took a pair of bolt cutters to the value chain of the banking industry. And a lot of people say, well, what is, in looking at what's a value chain? A value chain is something that is important, like it is like the lifeline of that industry. And it's something that it requires it to have its existence. Well, Satoshi cut that value chain of the banking industry and said, we no longer need a middleman for financial transactions. Well, today, there's over 40 million computers that have downloaded the Bitcoin software worldwide. Over 150,000 businesses accept Bitcoin. It appreciated in value from 10 cents to $1,203. There's no audit, no management team, no corporate structure for Bitcoin. It's a completely decentralized network of computers around the world that manage the entire financial network. 250,000 users worldwide use it, and what an amazing feat to be accomplished, and having that type of technology. But much like when Napster published their peer-to-peer music sharing network, they took down the music industry. It may have taken 8 years to get it done, but eventually, guess who the music industry is today? It's Clear Channel, it's iTunes, it's no longer RCA, it's no longer Motown, it's no longer EMI, it's no longer any of those companies. Okay, so when you look at what's going on with look at the faces of digital currency. Michael Novogratz runs a $55 billion fund. He personally invests in digital currency. Al Gore has talked about digital currency and how it could revolutionize our world. And Al Gore understands one thing. He really talks about world peace. I mean, he's very much into harmony. And when you talk about Bitcoin or digital currency becoming the ultimate weapon of peace, one thing Al Gore knows is where there's organized banking and financial services, crime decreases, and so does violence. So if we could implement organized banking and financial services via Bitcoin or via OneCoin or via any digital currency, could we reduce the violence and poverty around the world? And Al Gore seems to think so. But when you look at some of the people that are behind it, I know your buddies in the bowling league are like, yeah, that's a scam. Or the friends that you meet, your highly respected financial advisor. I got news for you. I don't care who my financial advisor is, but when the co-founder of PayPal, a multi-billionaire, says this could do something like change the world, I think I'm more apt to listen to this person than my financial advisor. They've done a little bit better than my financial advisor. Mark Andreessen, who invented the web browser that you're actually viewing this presentation through, he says this will change everything. How about this guy, Eric Schmidt? He's the head of Google. He has a little bit more credibility than my friends, by the way, when it comes to business. And he said that this has enormous value. The ability to create something that is not duplicatable in the digital world has enormous value. And what an incredible testimonial. And then we also have here, how about this Nobel Prize winner? Every informed person needs to know about Bitcoin because it might be one of the world's most important developments, Leon Luau. And then, of course, we have Dr. Rusha Ignatova. She says digital currencies will create peace, reduce poverty, and will make transacting business more affordable to the masses. I totally believe her. I totally believe what's going on with OneCoin and the mission behind it. It's very, very exciting. So let's talk about the 5 components of digital currency. People are like, how does it work? Well, hopefully this will give you a little outline. There's the algorithm. This is picture a big safe, if you will. And you have to spin the dials on the safe to unlock money from the safe. Okay, so the algorithm is like a safe, and every time you solve a mathematical equation, it will release a certain amount of coins. Well, the safe only has so much money in it. Okay, and those are serial numbers, by the way. 2.1 billion of them, by the way. Okay, so when we say coin, that is synonymous with serial number. All right, or a VIN number of a car. Kind of think of that. Remember that example we had in the beginning of the presentation. But when you look at the algorithm, how do you unlock these? How do you spin those dials on the safe? Well, you have to have a mining operation. Okay, and a mining operation is a bank of computers that actually solve the equations that unlock the coins. Okay, so how do you pay a mining operation to mine coins for you? Well, that's a good question. With our educational packages, we give you tokens, okay? And those tokens you can take to our mining operation, and that's where we teach you how to mine, okay? Well, the mining operation solves the mathematical equations of the algorithm and ultimately unlocks coins and puts those coins into your e-wallet. Now, once they're in your e-wallet, you can use them, you can spend them, you can let them grow in value, whatever you want to do. But a lot of people are like, oh, once I'm in digital currency, I can't get out. It's like Hotel California. Well, that's not true. Okay, if you want to sell your coins, you just take them to the exchange. Remember the auction, and you can buy and sell coins. The community determines the value, and you can convert coins into any fiat currency. So you can convert them back into cash, whether you want real, rubles, whatever you want, dollars, euros, Swiss francs. Convert them back into cash and switch them into your e-wallet. Okay, so you may mine some coins at 43 cents like I did, and ultimately one day they're worth $5. Well, they're worth 10 times more than what I paid for them. Okay, well, if I want to liquidate them and take that gain, I can if I want to. Okay, so there is the ability to buy or mine low and sell high, and that's an exciting thing about digital currency is you're actually getting a currency that has the ability to appreciate in value. And a lot of people, I'd prefer to have a currency that appreciates in value than one that depreciates, wouldn't you? Okay, and then the word blockchain. We've talked about that. That's just a public list of transactions. Everything that's done on our network goes across the blockchain, which is a public ledger, a real-time public ledger. And our blockchain, by the way, is audited by Sempra Fortis. And so I'll talk about them in a minute when we get into the presentation. So the new economy, folks, it's amazing. You got Australia deeming that Bitcoin is a currency. You've got Citibank issuing their own Citi coin, their own crypto coin. You've got a Swiss bank that has opened a bank where you can deposit your coins, your serial numbers, if you will, and they'll give you certificates with encrypted numbers on them. You've got PayPal accepting Bitcoin. You've got people trading Bitcoin on a trading platform, much like you do stocks and bonds and commodities. And then, of course, you've got the Bitcoin ATMs that are popping up all over the world. I know Mike Tyson just created his own Bitcoin ATM machine, and somebody sent 1,000 Bitcoins. And I was going to talk about this because I think it's important. You know, when Blockbuster came out, it was invincible. Wayne Huizinga, I mean, the guy was just invincible. And then all of a sudden, you know, when you looked at it, Netflix came out and they kind of ignored Netflix. Well, Netflix cut the value chain of Blockbuster and said, hey, we don't need employees, we don't need stores, we don't need anything like that. And then, of course, Redbox came along, and Redbox is kind of synonymous with the ATM machine. What if we put a Bitcoin ATM machine outside of your favorite gas station wherever you picked up gas? Okay, you could go there and do your banking while you're getting gas. You know, and it makes it more convenient than having to drive to some place where you got to pay for parking or go into some fancy lobby and wait to be seated on. You know, it's just crazy. And so when you look at that, somebody sent 1,000 ATM machines to Greece. Well, when they place those all over Greece, people are going to say, you know what, we don't need banks anymore. And all we need is a mobile app and a ATM machine, and we can transact business anywhere in the world, pay your bills, whatever. So who takes Bitcoin? Bunch of small companies, right? Wrong. Have you ever heard of Amazon, Microsoft, PayPal, Tesla Motor Cars, United Way, Fiverr, Victoria's Secret, Etsy, Overstock, WordPress, Rejewelers, largest jeweler in the United States, Cheapo Air, CVS Pharmacy, 1-800-Flowers, Dell. Have you heard of any of those companies? Okay, well, it's pretty significant, folks. If you want to go to a place to learn about what businesses take it, go to spinbitcoins.com, and you can find all of the locations that take Bitcoin. And like I said, we are OneCoin. We're separate of Bitcoin. The difference between Bitcoin and us is instead of having to have a place take Bitcoin and have some complicated app, with us you'll just take your MasterCard, and as long as they take MasterCard, they'll be able to transact business with us. So that's going to be pretty cool. And so let's get in and we'll talk about the story of OneCoin. I've talked a lot about Bitcoin and digital currency and the disruptions and all of that. Now we're going to get into the core of what you are looking at getting involved in. And the way you get involved is obviously purchasing one of our educational packages, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But we've got a highly credible leader at the front of the company, as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation. Doctorates in law from Oxford University, master's in economics, associate partner at McKinsey & Company. Folks, McKinsey interviews the top 1% of the class, so that means she was very, very smart to even get interviewed by them, and they don't even hire that many of the top 1%. So she became an associate partner with them. She's obviously very, very intelligent. Okay, Entrepreneur of the Year 2 years in a row in Bulgaria, former CEO and CFO of one of the largest asset management firms in Bulgaria. She was featured on the cover of Forbes magazine on a brand voice. It was a paid publication, but guess what? Forbes does not put you on the cover of their publication unless you're fully vetted. Okay, I don't care how much money you have, but most of the network marketing founders and most of the cryptocurrency founders of all these different companies around, they wouldn't even qualify to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. They would never even get past the test of getting on the cover. And I tell everybody, Forbes will not put you under their iconic logo and print hundreds of thousands of these magazines if they know you're a scam artist. Okay, so all of the scam stuff that you read online, folks, please use some common sense and understand that if Forbes is fully vetted her, they probably have a better research department than you. Okay, and it's just it's an exciting time, folks. I tell everybody, when you have a company that's growing as fast as this, people like to leverage our traffic, they like to leverage our awareness, so they use our name in vain and they try and benefit from our company. Most of the companies you see writing about OneCoin, if you look at them, they're selling something else, okay? Something very inferior and something that you probably want to avoid. But let's get into the one concept and let's talk about really what the back, and this is just a sampling of the back office, folks. There's so much more, but I don't want to overwhelm you today because I want you to understand that everything is included in your back office. The first thing you'll decide, hey, which package do I want to go with? You can sign up for free, by the way, and you could look at our entire back office. That's pretty cool. And then if you want to upgrade to a starter because you're limited on funds, we have a lot of college students that are doing this business, and they're coming in at starter and trader, and they're working their way up through the educational programs to get into it. So I kind of look at this as your associate degree. I look at this as your master's or doctor's degree up here. But we have packages ranging from 100 euros all the way up to 12,500 euros. And each one of these comes with a different number of tokens, okay, which allows you to gain access to more coins through the mining process, okay? So on the premium trader, you'll get X number of tokens versus the tycoon, where you'll get 60,000. This one you get 150,000 tokens. This one you get 60,000 tokens. So it varies from package to package. And once you get those tokens, you can put them into mining, and that will turn into coins, okay, through the mining process. Now, first thing we want you to do is we want you to go through your courses, and we want you to get educated. We want you to take the test. We want you to get your certificates. You get signed certificates of completion of going through every course. And so this is great for you because the more education you have, the more awareness you're going to have. Then we want you to set up your e-wallet, so that if you earn money by referring other people to the program, you can actually get paid. Isn't that a novel concept? And then we have our mining operation. We want to teach you how to mine coins. You can see on this particular account there's 167,000 tokens in mining. You can see on the blockchain all of the last transactions that go through. It is live, and how many coins are being mined per day. And so this is a pretty cool structure. Very simple to understand, folks. So once you're in there, putting your tokens in a mining takes minutes. I didn't even take that. It takes a minute. Okay, so it's very simple to understand. And then as you get more advanced and as the coin starts to fluctuate in price, you may want to do some trading of the coin. You may want to buy it low and sell it high. There's a novel concept. How about that? So some people will trade, some people won't, but maybe you'll want to sell some coins at a time. Well, this is where you sell them on the trading platform. And you can see all the other functions of the website. I'm not going to go into all the great details, but Everything's built into the back office. You don't have to set up any fancy computers. You don't have to buy any fancy hardware. You don't have to use up all the power at your house to try and mine coins. Everything's built into our platform. We provide everything. That's why I call it the PayPal of digital currency. It's an all-inclusive platform. Now, we also have the ARM Gold coin, which is very exciting. The ARM Gold coin is 0.999 real gold and 0.001 cryptocurrency. So this is a real gold-backed 15-gram coin that we're going to be making available at a later date once all of our regular coins are mined, but it'll be a second product that we offer for people who want a digital coin that's actually backed by something rather than just the value of the community. And so, I've had people say, well, Tom, hey, the US dollar, I'd rather use the US dollar because it's backed by something. Yeah, it's backed by a promissory note of $80. For every dollar you possess, you owe about $80 back to China. So yeah, it's backed by promissory notes, but that's about it. And you're on the hook for it, by the way. You're the one that owes the money. But the World Foundation, Tom's, Zappos, every major company, the Bill Gates Foundation, any company that's going to be in existence long term has got to have a cause or a mission, and ours is really just to educate the children how to become successful using modern technologies in the era of globalization to master their lives, to make them responsible adults who understand money, who can build a prosperous life. So that's really what our foundation is all about. Coin Vegas, not available to U.S. residents. But for something, if you're over in Asia or any place where it's legal, you actually can buy gaming credits through our back office using your OneCoins. So if you're the type of person who likes taking a little chance on the board, you can play Coin Vegas. And so that's the story of OneCoin. Let's talk about generating income and creating wealth. As I mentioned to everybody, we're not here to sell you on a comp plan, so I don't go into great detail on the comp plan. We have a video that does that. But I think it's important for you to understand that we have a way that you can make money sharing this with other people if you want to. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. But there are several ways to get paid. We have a direct sales bonus of 10%. So when you sell one of our educational packages, a 5,000 euro package, you make 500 euros, okay, which is about 550 US dollars. We also have the fast start bonus. In your first 30 days, you get an extra 10% bonus on whatever you personally sell, however many educational packages you sell. And then, of course, we have our network bonus where you get paid 10% on one of your two sales organizations. So you have two sales organizations, and I'll just give you a quick example. If this sales organization does 30,000 in business and this one does 60,000 in business, you're going to make 10% on the lesser side. So you'll make 10% of 30,000, which is $3,000. Now the balance over here, you'll subtract 30,000 from over here, and then you'll subtract 30,000 from over here. You'll be left with $30,000 in volume because the volume does not flush. So the next week, if you do another 30 over here, you'll get paid 3,000 euros again. So you build two sales organizations and you get paid 10% on the lesser side, and our commissions are paid every Monday. So it's pretty cool. Now, when you look at ultimately the matching bonus, this is where huge money can be made, and the matching bonus is paid through 4 levels, and you can earn 10%, 10%, 20%, or 25% 4 generations deep. So if I have 200 people on my 4th generation, I make 25% of whatever they make. Okay. The only thing you have to do to get qualified for matching bonuses and binary income is you have to do 2 personal sales of a trader package or of higher value on one on the left and one on the right. Okay. So very generous compensation plan, and depending on what level you come in determines how many levels of matching bonuses that you unlock as well. Now, the lifestyle rewards bonus, very simply, is like a frequent flyers mile program. You accumulate points as you become successful doing certain things, promoting people, signing people up, and these points can be redeemed for trips and cars and vacations and all kinds of cool things, all kinds of rewards, computers. Now, as far as the different types of pins, you can work your way up through different promotional paths, and you can earn awards ranging from laptop computers all the way up to Rolex watches and very high-end trips. Okay. As far as our exchange, XCoinX, When you look at XCoinX, you'll see that our blockchain is audited by Sempra Fortis. Okay, I don't know if you've ever been audited by a Big Six auditing firm or a major international auditing firm, but they do check out every principal, and they do check out every board of director and every major shareholder, and if any of them are crooked, they probably won't audit you. So I just want to be very clear about that. It is nice to know that we have a very top auditor in the industry. And then also we have splits, so 2-for-1 splits, so depending on which package you buy, you have the ability to double the amount of tokens that you have. That gives you the ability to mine more coins. And then I think it's also important to notice that we are the #2 largest cryptocurrency in the world right now, and very quickly I think you'll see us overtake Bitcoin. So we're very close to getting that done as well. But the last thing I want to bring up ultimately is the different events that we have. We have events going on in Dubai and Macau and the United States, and these are massive events with thousands and thousands of people. And what I want to do is I'll just show you a quick little video to give you an understanding of the magnitude of what's going on within OneCoin. So powerful event in Dubai. That was in May 2015 with over 3,000 people there. And this kind of brings me to the last section, the system and getting started. I tell everybody that if you'd had the opportunity to do it again, would you take a little bit more time to learn about the internet in 1991? Let's say I could roll back the clock and say, let's go back to 1991. How many of you would invest a lot more time learning about the internet and investing in internet-based companies? I know I would. And I tell everybody that our company is really about lifestyle design. It's about family. It's about personal growth. It's about service. It's about community. It's about travel. There's great opportunities in the world if you can afford to go out and take advantage of them. And one thing that dealing in a cryptocurrency or a digital currency, you have the ability to not only create wealth educating people about it, but you have the ability to create personal wealth through the appreciation of digital currency. And whether it's OneCoin or it's 5 or 6, I know personally I have money in several different cryptocurrencies, and I believe in a diversified, balanced portfolio. But OneCoin is leading the charge. Okay, we are the #1 educational company in the world for digital currency, and I think it's important that you start with education. Now, when you look at our system and how we do business, as you can see, you've basically sat back in your lazy boy or your couch or your kitchen counter, or you're in office, or maybe you're sitting in your car watching this on the phone, but you've had the opportunity to be exposed to a 4-minute video or a 7-minute sizzle call. We have a 2-minute sizzle call. We have lots of ways to introduce people to this. And then you sat down through a company overview, which is right here, And now really the next option is to do an orientation call to get your questions answered to determine what type of purchase package you're going to purchase. Okay, and so we really believe in the principles of automation, duplication, and creation, and that is just automate your business, automate your marketing, duplicate your team, create a system that everybody can use. And we have a powerful online system that it's a personalized presentation system, comprehensive, captivating online presentations like the one you're watching now. We have live online presentations, daily leadership calls, regional and annual events. So very, very excited about the tools that we can provide you, with this business. And from there, I really want to talk to you about, it's just, you say, hey, Tom, I want in. Well, how do we do it? Pretty simple. Go ahead and take action by gaining education and awareness. Purchase a OneCoin digital educational package, determine which one you want, become a OneCoin miner, learn how you can mine OneCoins, set up the OneCoin marketing system, and really just share the OneCoin story with your friends and family. It's really as simple as that. I don't know, I mean, everybody wants to create wealth. I know people are skeptical out there and they're always thinking, oh, it's another one of these. But folks, it's not another one of these. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal. This is a company that has broken all industry records. It'll be the fastest company in the history of the world to do $1 billion in sales. It has a pretty phenomenal story that comes along with it. And I tell everybody, it'd be like me coming to you and telling you about Twitter. Oh, I have this instant messaging service. I mean, people are going to look at you cross-eyed. I have this digital coin company, or I have this search engine, or I have this social network. I mean, think of how many times people came to you with all these great ideas and your eyes just crossed. Well, people are going to do the same with digital currency. Some will get it, some won't, so what? But the opportunity for you right now is to take action and say, you know what? This is 1991 again. The only difference is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the internet, and I want to be a part of it. And I have shown you the logos of the company, the future unicorns. I've shown you everything about disruptions, and I don't think there's anything you can really disagree. I've shown you the people who are involved in the business, in the digital currency industry. I've shared with you the owner of our company and her past and her experience. And so you've gotten a lot of information. You understand we have a powerful compensation plan that will reward you for sharing our message with others. There's just so much to go over, and you've seen evidence of the powerful events that we're having around the world that is changing and affecting people's lives in a very positive way. And, really with that said, folks, I mean, this is the overall presentation. I do want to go through a couple bonus trainings if you have a minute. But if you don't, just get back with the person who invited you to this video. I always say if I answered all your questions, that's probably not a good sign, or maybe you're just one of those first movers that says, I got lots of questions, but I'm ready to get started now, and we congratulate you on that. But what an exciting time we have with OneCoin. As we say, join the evolution, become part of the digital currency evolution, and create wealth, folks. It's fun. But with that said, I'm going to go into just 2 bonus trainings that I have. If you want to stick around, you're welcome to. But the first one, and they're real short, by the way, so if you just have about 10 minutes, I'll walk through them. But the first one is our ADCs of Internet Marketing. We talk about automation of marketing, which is A. We use powerful tools like our 22 Social, our Facebook app, Postcron, which does automatic posting on Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter for us. So you can be at work and it can be posting for you while you're at work. Just make sure your boss doesn't see it, because they might come say, hey, where do you have the time to do that? But if you have an automatic system doing it for you, it's actually pretty cool. And that's about 22 Social. It's about $29 a month. And if you refer 3 people, it's free. Postcron, I think, is $9 or $10 a month. And if you refer 5 people, it's free. And then, of course, our Prezi presentation, which you're watching right now, this is a very powerful presentation that gives people the ability to really understand digital currency. And I hope you've enjoyed the presentation, but we're excited about using Prezi for all of our presentations. DigiPearl, which is a website that we're using a technology that gives you a virtual business card. So when you meet somebody, you can just put their information into your app on your phone, and it'll send them a full presentation, and it'll monitor them through the process to see what they've actually looked at. You could be sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you get a text that says, hey, Tom's watching your presentation right now. Very cool system, totally personalized, completely adaptive. Meaning when you put your name into it, the website puts your name all throughout the website. It's a very cool system, And if you choose you want information on mining, that's all you'll see on the website. If you choose you want to see information about education, that's all it'll have on the website. So it adapts to what you want to see, and it personalizes the presentation. Now, duplication is very cool. Duplication is really about giving people the ability to copy what you're doing. And we have a funnel that we put people through. We call it our three-step system. And it just kind of weeds people out. As I tell everybody, we're in the sorting business. We're not in the convincing business. We're looking for people that want to go out and create wealth without excuses. And then ultimately, we provide you with all the marketing material, all the company-approved marketing material for you to be able to post online so you stay within compliance as well. Now, as far as creation, this is the C of the ADCs, create quality of life results. We're not into doing the hotel meetings every week. Some people do in our business, but I like staying at home. I like meeting people and just giving them a business card and saying, you know, you can do this business from home. You don't have to drive around doing the, makeup parties and shake parties and stuff like that. You don't have to put so much energy into the business that it exhausts you. I think a lot of people leave their 40-hour work week and they go to work for 80 hours a week trying to build a network marketing company. And it's kind of counterintuitive. That's not really what it was about. But it's about working maybe 5 hours a day or 4 hours a day and really just monitoring your systems and finding out where people are in the funnel process and getting them through the funnel and getting them to make a decision, or really letting them sell themselves. As I tell everybody, I'm about creating a picture halfway in your mind and then handing you the paintbrushes and letting you finish the picture. And if you're willing to do that, this is going to be a great business for you. Now, one of the things that we talk about is how do you create your miracle of success? And these are 7 success tactics I came up with when I was going through a very difficult time in my life. One of those ones where you're on your knees praying. I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but I know I've had a couple. But how to create a miracle of success in your life. Number 1, you need mentors. Mentors will provide the map for your journey. They'll help you get from point A to point Z faster than anything. So we have great mentors in our industry. We have people that know what they're doing when it comes to building online and home-based businesses. Inner awareness leads to integrity. We're not in the business of building followers. We're in the business of building leaders, and we want you to reach inside and get to know yourself, and ultimately you'll walk firmer in your footsteps. So inner awareness leads to integrity, and we think that's definitely important in our industry. R is re-engage your purpose and get passionate about life. My goodness, if you have a family or if you have a spouse, if you have a God, your purpose in life is much greater maybe than what you're doing at your 40-hour work week. Get passionate about what we're doing, about educating the rest of the world. Get passionate about helping the other 6 billion people get online with organized financial services. Get passionate about decreasing poverty and violence around the world. There's just so much we can do in this business that's so exciting. A is attitude determines your magnitude. Rock your world, man. Get fired up about life. Wake up every day before the alarm clock goes off. That's what I do. I love it. I'm so fired up. My rush hour is whether I go to the coffee maker or to my computer. I don't have to sit in rush hour traffic. But I've got a powerful attitude, and I'm very careful about what goes into my mind. It's like a fertile garden, so I protect what goes into my garden. And create consciously. Dream with your eyes open. How many of you are sleepwalkers? You're just walking through life, leasing everything. You don't really have ownership of anything. You're helping build somebody else's dream. You're not building your own. But we say become a creator. I mean, my goodness, there's no doctor in the world that can explain how your body works. Absolutely. So therefore, you are a miracle, and you have the ability to create miracles. You have the power of creation within you, and you can create whatever you want. Leverage time, technology, and talent. We have powerful technology. We have awesome leaders. You have the ability to get 20 or 30 people onto one presentation at one time rather than meeting with people one-on-one. No more Starbucks meetings, McDonald's meetings, one-on-ones. We don't do that. We tell everybody to sit in the comfort of their own home and sit back and relax and watch our presentations. And then E is envision it and own your world, not lease your world. A lot of people lease their homes, they lease their bodies to a job, they lease their cars, they're in debt, they lease their lives to the federal government, and we just say envision it. What is it? You need to define that and go own it, capital I-T, and own your world. And the difference between owning your world and leasing your world, if you own it, it means it's yours. If you lease it, it means it's somebody else's. And the question that I have for all of you is, how many of you are leasing your world? And I'll leave you with this. No limits exist where no boundaries are recognized. That's a quote I came up with over 20 years ago. And I just tell people, if your dreams are greater than your excuses, then nothing will stand in your way of doing this business. But if your excuses are greater than your dreams, anything will stand in your way of creating your miracles in life. And I hope through these words that we've met, and that you have the opportunity ultimately to get involved in OneCoin. And even if you don't, that I've created awareness in you about the digital currency industry, where sometime in the next year or 2 or 3 that you'll be able to benefit from it, because you've heard this presentation, that we've opened your eyes to creating a new economy and a culture of freedom through digital currency education. But I really enjoyed giving the presentation. Get back with the person who introduced you to the presentation. You can click on the button below and click contact, or go ahead and connect with their website and get a free rookie spot and get involved. It's really an exciting business. But get back with the person who invited you. Again, it was a pleasure giving you the presentation. Your third step is doing an orientation call, getting all of your questions answered, and ultimately picking the educational package that you want to get started with. Become a miner, secure your OneCoins, and start creating wealth with OneCoin. Thanks, and I appreciate your attention.